Good evening, everyone. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Minds channel. Hope everyone's doing well. First of all, apologies for the change in time. I know in the chat loads of you were waiting at 8:30, but I got stuck on a family shopping trip and I've just come back literally 20 minutes ago. So apologies about that. I have got Irish Tommy with me, who's recently joined the channel, passed his medical yesterday. And we tied up the terms and things like that this morning, didn't we, mate? Hey, how are you? Welcome to the channel, Irish Tommy. Welcome.
Cheers, bud. A bit nervous. I only signed yesterday. I didn't think I was going to make my full debut today. I thought I'd be allowed a few training sessions to get used to it, but Jazz put me straight in the team.
We're carrying a few injuries, Tommy. We had to get you in there, but hopefully you'll be able to play 70 minutes or so, and I think Frankie might join later on. But yeah, you're our, shall we say there's 4 of us now on the channel, and that'll be that, I think, for the season ahead. So we've got Frankie, we've got Matt from Mexico, got yourself, me, and yeah, all doing well, really. And yeah, you'll enjoy the chat. The channel's going absolutely amazing, mate, and hope it carries on. And yeah, let's get through to the chat, see what's going on. Yeah, all kind of bit of banter and a bit of comedy. Yeah, I know that. I haven't got my ron today. Yeah, not today, mate. Just got the old orange squash today. So I'm being good. But yeah, Cosmos, hope you're well. Who else we got in here? Ruby. So these comments are from like around about 8:30 when they thought the show was going on.
Yeah.
Short, Barkley, Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, all those names popping up today, mate. So this show is really looking at a lot of things, and yeah, mainly kind of the transfer market. It's what we call, Tommy, pre-deadline day tonight, isn't it, mate? One more day before it's all going to go even more mad tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, and I think this could actually be one of the calmest transfer deadline days we've had, wasn't it? Like, normally we're on tender hooks because we still know we have to sign a couple of players and we're desperate to get a couple more in. But I think this is going to be a really calm one. I think, if we don't sign anyone, we're not going to be worried too much about it, are we? So, yeah, I think this will be a nice, calm, relaxed deadline day for a change. We might be able to go to bed.
I think the way to look at it is, if nothing happens tomorrow, I don't think anyone's going to be that upset. We're kind of okay. We've done, a lot of work this window, but obviously the fan in us is always going to think something's going to come up, because I think they're trying to make a couple of loan moves, something we haven't done so far in the market, which is fair enough, because I think we've spent 180 million sort of plus. So we'll kind of see how that happens, mate. Frankie's joined us, mate.
Yeah, I think a lot will depend on what happens with Dawson. We don't really know what's going on there, if he's gonna make the move to Wolves or not. If Dawson obviously looks like he's going to be leaving, the club will probably already know by now. If he seems likely to leave, they'll obviously be looking to get someone in pretty quickly, just as another cover centre back. Probably on loan, or they might do another Dawson deal, do something on the cheap. So that's possibly all we'll see happen. I don't think there's anything happening with Fornells. I don't believe that one. It's far too late in the transfer window to even consider letting Fornells go.
Yeah, we'll go into that minute. First of all, welcome, Frankie. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good. I'm just going to go through the comments, then we'll get cracking with the show. They're all taking the mick out of me because I changed it. I think I'm drinking rum out of a wheelie bin. That's fine. Under 21s 1-1 at Walsall. I don't know, mate. Yep, we'll talk about Ashby, mate. His name's kind of coming up a little bit today. Put the wrong date up. Ice cubes are nearly there. I love the banter in there, mate. Yep, watching the Southampton-Chelsea game. There are a few games going on, mate. Let's see, yeah. Epics, and they forgot to bring in you nutcases. Yep, Chelsea lost 2-1. Yeah, we were just mentioning that, me and Tommy, before we kind of got started with that, mate. Yep, Daniela welcoming Irish Tommy. Carter, evening. I knew something. I like how something about Paqueta and his, what is it? Stash goatee combo reminds me of a villain. Yeah, a lot of people have said that. I think Frankie might have said it. Someone said he looks like a villain out one of those.
Mr. Mace, wasn't it?
Mr. Mace. Yeah, Mr. Mace is doing all that. We'll see, mate. Yeah, I told you every team in the Premier League this season especially is very, very strong. every game's even harder now, mate. So yeah, we can see that by the early results, especially Chelsea struggling. The way Chelsea played tonight, they haven't got anyone up front, mate, as far as I know. Let's get cracking with the show. Yeah, first of all, yeah, welcome, Tommy, the fourth and final piece of our channel super team, shall I call it? So yeah, once again, welcome, Tommy. And yeah, I'll go to Frankie in a minute. Actually, you did mention Dawson. Frankie, Dawson, those rumours, mate. I didn't know that he lived in Manchester, mate, and he made a regular commute, and he said that's enough, mate. I don't know. That's what's
I feel so sorry for him. The amount of money he's paid, the amount of houses he could own, I feel so sorry for the man. We resurrected his career when he was down and out, brought him into European football, which I don't think he ever thought he'd see at that particular time in his career. And he's having a bit of a whinge up about a commute to and from work. I struggle with it, mate. I do. I know he's been a good player for us, and I know he's been marvellous last year, mate, and really done amazing to help us along that journey we went on. But I don't have no sympathy for it, mate. Sorry, I just don't.
Fair enough. Irish Tommy, you didn't mention. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about the commute that he's been doing since then? I think it's more about the two clubs are interested. They've tapped him up. I think it's more about that, mate, than anything else. I don't know. Yeah,
well, there's been rumblings for a little while now that Dawson, wants to move closer to home. So this hasn't surprised me. It's just, this is something that's very late in the day to be trying to move. You know what I mean? Like if this was how he was feeling, he should have been speaking to David Moyes before the transfer window opened, or at least very early in the transfer window, and said, look, I really want to make this move. I'm sick of the commute up and down, and I'd like to move closer to home so I have an easier commute and I can go home every evening or whatever. To be trying to get a move this late in the day, it makes it quite difficult for us to get someone in. If he goes to Wolves, say tomorrow, I mean, it's fucking deadline day. I mean, so it's a bit late in the day. Frankly, I wouldn't be letting him go now. I'd be saying, look, it's too late to go moving now. We've got to try and replace you. Hang tough until January. Excuse me. Hang tough until January. We'll let you move in January, and at least then we can have someone lined up that we can bring in. So I'm afraid I'd be telling him, sorry, bad news, Craig. You're just going to have to wait, mate.
Yeah, I think they're looking at Badnanak, or whoever that Southampton guy. Don't know much about him. I think he could be going, but obviously if he goes, then we will bring someone in. What we were mentioning, frankly, before we come on, if we don't do anything tomorrow, you still reasonably happy, or do you want one or two loan deals done, mate, to kind of just, top it all up? I don't know.
I'm not sure we're a club that need to rely on loan deals, really. I don't think that's in our, I don't think that's at the top of the agenda, really. And the way we've done our business, I don't think it's really required, mate. The only person I'd take on loan was Broja, just because I think he's a bit of a weapon and would bring something different to the forward line. Other than that, no, I think we're okay. I think we're pretty solid. We've got competition for places now. We are still going to be a little bit light in a few areas, but we can't have it all, mate. We're West Ham. We've spent our money, and I think we've already got more than I could have imagined we would. So I'm all right with it. I do think we're a bit light in that central midfield area. I would like to see something addressed there. I mean, I've seen sort of Fofana touted about, mate. If he comes in, then that takes it to a whole new level. Then, in fact, I'd almost go as far as saying that. Not quite as a marquee signing as much as Paqueta was, but I think that would be a real statement to go and break the record signing and then go and spend the sort of money that he would cost to bring him in as well, just to make sure we're 100% solid in the centre of the park would be a real big statement, mate. So, yeah.
I think, Tommy, I think Trevor Sinclair was once again saying we really missed out on a reasonable good player. Looks like Onana. He didn't come in, but I don't know if we would have had any more money to bring in sort of Paqueta. In terms of who we still need, going back to what Frankie said, Tommy, I think we need a backup to Scamacca. I don't want Bowen playing up front. I don't want Antonio playing up front, mate. That's one of the key areas. I still think we need a backup for Scamacca, mate. A big lump who can play with something else.
You not think Cornet will play up there a little bit, though?
I think by himself, perhaps he's not quite big enough. I think he can play in the two with him, 4-4-2 and left wing as he's doing now. And I still think he can do a job at wing back if we need to urgently.
Yeah, I think it would be more likely that Moyes would put Bowen up top and play Cornet on the right wing, rather than putting Cornet up top as a number 9, because he's played Bowen already as the number 9 on a number of occasions. He's done very well up there. So I think that would maybe be more likely, but it is an option at least that we have. But I do agree. I think we definitely need another striker, a third choice striker. Obviously, we've had a lot of links with Brereton Diaz from Blackburn over the course of the summer. I actually thought that might happen, but
it still will. It will.
You think so?
It will.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it might just be a little bit rich for us at the moment, given how much we've already spent for a third choice striker. Blackburn obviously are going to be looking for maybe 20 odd million for him. So I don't know if we're going to make that outlay, but certainly I think we could have done with something. So we'll see. But I think, Moyes, I mean, if he's been happy for this long to play with one striker who isn't a striker, I don't think he's going to be worried too much about playing this season with Scamacca and Antonio, especially when he feels like he has the options in Bowen and Cornet if he needs them to go up top. I think Moyes probably feels he's okay.
First of all, Tommy, our old American Hammers TV boss, Tim's in the chat. Hello, boss. How are you? Tim, hope you're doing well, mate. I know Tim's busy filming. Was it directing horror films, isn't he?
Tim Milliken, yeah.
Tim.
Loves his low-budget horror movies.
That's it. And Tommy, anything else that you'd want covered? Do you want a right back cover, mate? Do you want CDM cover like Conor Gallagher? Anything else you're thinking that you like?
Yeah, I agree with Frankie on the midfield, to be honest. I think we definitely, we've had a 9 out of 10 window, I think. And for me, if we had assigned, a really cracking DM to play alongside Rice, that to me would have made it a 10 out of 10 window. No, I know you can't have it all, but that's something I think we definitely need to look at and address sooner rather than later. Certainly in January, if whatever money is there, I'd love to think if we can't get a rabbit pulled out the hat tomorrow, Fofana, for example. I don't know what's going on with that, if there's anything solid there or not. I believe the link. I think that's a genuine link, but I don't know if that's likely to happen on deadline day. We don't really know what's in the kitty at this point. We've spent a hell of a lot of money. I agree. I think that now is kind of the priority position, is to get someone who can slot in beside Rice. I was actually quite hoping that the Van Aken deal could still be done. I would love for that to be done tomorrow, because I think then that gives you that option where you can actually drop Paqueta into the number 8 role, where he's very happy playing and he can really get on a lot of ball and orchestrate things through the middle. And then you could play Van Aken as the number 10. And he's a really tidy, intelligent player, great passer, skillful, 6'5", a big lump as well, who'd be useful from crosses and on set pieces. So if that could happen tomorrow, I think that would be huge for us. But one way or another, sooner rather than later, I agree with Frankie, we've got to get a partner for Declan Rice who's absolutely top class.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, Vanaken, obviously, apparently you've been chasing him for 2-3 windows, so we'll see what happens. I think something will happen. I'm not sure. Will it be Conor Gallagher loan? Will it be Vanaken? Will it be, one or two other players coming in? I think one or two might come in. And then, obviously, because the way the World Cup was, obviously, normally the window would close, wouldn't it? Then the season starts. Obviously, 4 games have gone past, and it's not ideal trying to bring that many people in and then trying to get off the ball running. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I don't know where Chelsea are. I don't know where Chelsea are on the Gallagher situation. He started at Leeds, and he started. Who did they play the weekend? He started a couple of games in a row. He's been dropped
Leicester,
tonight.
He got sent off, didn't he?
Yes, thank you. But he got dropped tonight. He didn't play tonight. But so I don't know where Chelsea are. I doubt if they'd be keen on just doing a straight loan with us for the season. I just don't see how that would benefit them at all.
I think Palace have bid 27 million for a straight deal, just testing the waters. They're desperate to get him in because they just only Zaha scores goals for them.
Yeah, they're not going to get him for that. I think Chelsea usually want a premium for their players, so I doubt they'll let him go for 27. even that probably is a very fair asking price. But I think if we are to do a deal for Gallagher on deadline day, it would probably have to be either buy him outright or do a loan with an obligation to buy at the end of the season. Maybe Chelsea could bite on something like that. But again, I really like Gallagher, actually. I do think he's a really good player. I just don't know if he's worth what Chelsea are going to be looking for on deadline day for him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, comment from Bob. I heard this morning, I might be wrong, that they've let go of Barkley. Is he gone? Have they released him?
Yeah, they released him from his contract by mutual consent.
Wow. So obviously, Frankie, that shows you a bit like Dele Alli. Their careers have nosedive, mate, aren't they? On the
big
floor.
Time, mate. That's the last person we need round us is Ross Barkley, mate. Just keep him well away from us.
He was mentioned to Moyes in the press conference directly. And the way Moyes was talking, it was, no, we're not. He didn't say it in so many words. He tried to say nice things about Ross. And he mentioned that he gave Ross his debut as a 16-year-old when he was Everton manager. And that he's a nice lad and all that. And he wished him well. He said, whether it's us or another club that he ends up with, I wish him all the best. So essentially, I think that the tone was that we're not interested.
This comment here, Tommy, Peter Vanaken, do you think he could play up front? I'm not sure Vanaken can play up front.
He's played as a right forward.
Oh, right. Interesting.
But on the very odd occasion.
He's played that kind of, I think it's been like the inside right channel where Bowen has played sometimes.
That's right.
He can do that role, but it's not his best position, to be honest. He's better down the middle, particularly as a number 10.
Yeah, in the comments, Ryan, hope you're well, mate. I haven't watched any of Anana's games, man. I keep hearing different things. First of all, he's responsible for a goal on his debut, then he made up for it. And I've heard he's really, really good. And you're saying he isn't. So anyway, it doesn't really bother me anymore.
Early days for him, and it's hard to judge him at this stage.
He's a bit of a lump, but that's all I know. Dawson, again, if he really wants to go, then I don't know. We'll see what happens. But he's under contract anyway.
I love that. What is it? Dawson's wife doesn't want him to leave the north. Well, then why doesn't she go get a fucking job that pays 60-odd-K a week, and Dawson can stay at home and watch the kids? Otherwise, shut the fuck up.
I remember, was it Unsworth? He came in for a year, great season, and then he had to go back up to Merseyside, but signed for Villa. So sometimes, depends where you're from. I don't know where Dawson's from. I don't know where he's born. I don't know. He's from Midlands. I ain't got a clue. Gallagher, not sure. I mean, thinking about tomorrow's game, me and Frankie going to be there tomorrow. Frankie, what are you expecting tomorrow, mate? Bit of fireworks, mate, against our good old rivals down the road, mate?
Yeah, I think it will be. I think it's going to be a lively old evening, mate. I think it's going to be a big atmosphere. I think there's going to be a new buzz around us, and they've obviously got a new belief that their managers got rid of their sort of Spursy ways. So they're going to come thinking they can do a job on us and looking forward to sticking one over on us. So with all the success we've had over them in recent times. So, I think it's going to be a lively old evening, mate. I think it's going to be a good atmosphere, and I'm just really, really looking forward to it, mate. I've got a very tough business meeting to do during the daytime. I'm still going to have to work tonight to get my work done to take to the meeting. And when that is all said and done, about 1:30, I will be football mode, and just can't wait to get there tomorrow night, mate. I'm really, really looking forward to it. A few beers, come out, celebrating, singing, it happened again. We're all having a party, and go to the Carpenters, jump around, throw some beer in the air and celebrate, mate. So, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
not sure about Carpenters, but I certainly will hopefully see you
after
tomorrow.
After the game, it's all right. After the game, only after.
I'm getting in the car, mate. I've got like 4 hours.
If you've won and you want a few drinks afterwards, it's not too sad. I wouldn't go in there before a game or anything like that. But after the game, if you've won, if I'm letting the train queue die down, I creep in there and have a bit of DJ and a few beers while the queue dies down, and celebrate it, mate. Because the Tottenham's a big. It's not our cup final, and I don't look at it like that, to be honest. But there's nothing better than beating them. So well,
you will see. Tommy, I'm hearing team news from Spurs. Things like Richarlison's going to start ahead of Son. Romero, who are slightly concerned about how the way you mark Scamacca. It's a bit too early for him to start. So that kind of thing I'm hearing. From our end, would you want Paqueta to play any role tomorrow, mate? Or things like that?
Do we know if he was registered in time?
I think so. I think he was registered in time because it's today, midday was the deadline, I believe. So I think he was.
I'll be honest. I mean, I'd love him to start. I mean, 7 o'clock tomorrow when that team sheet comes out, if Paqueta is on it, starting like at number 10 or even at number 8 beside Rice, where he's equally comfortable. I mean, the buzz that will go around the West Ham fan base, the buzz that will go around the stadium will be incredible. And, Paqueta's fit and probably raring to go. Okay, maybe he won't do the 90 minutes. You'll have to get used to the pace and intensity of the Premier League, which is quite a bit higher than Ligue 1. So, but you still get 70 minutes out of him. Like, he's fit. He's probably raring to go. He would probably love to start, I'm sure. And I would love to see him start. I really would. I'd love to see him just get chucked in there and right from the off. And that would just be a massive boost for the team and for the fans. The atmosphere would be electric. And it gives Tottenham something to think about because they won't be very familiar with him. They won't have faced him before. And he could really do some damage. And he's the kind of player that we've really needed. The two things that I thought we were really short on last season were pace and creativity. It's really shown in the early games of this season, the lack of creativity. And that's what he brings to the team. He brings that something different. So I'd love to see him start if he's registered and he's available. I think you have to. I mean, he's a super player. We've spent a hell of a lot of money on him. Moyes can't be coy on this one. It's okay paying 15, 20 million for someone and being a bit coy about bringing them in slowly, getting them adjusted. But someone like Paqueta, we spent that kind of money on him when he's such a special talent. I think you chuck him in and say, all right, off you go, mate. Because Paqueta's going to be up for this. I saw in his interview on the pitch after he signed, where he seemed like really excited. He said the first thing I did was check the fixtures, and he said I saw that we had Tottenham and Chelsea. Really exciting. So I think he's straining at the leash. I think he would love to start against Tottenham, and I think we should unleash him against Tottenham.
Yeah, I think so. I think, Frankie, if you imagine Scamacca up front and the three behind, you've got Cornet, Paqueta, Bowen, something like that. And then obviously, has to be Rice and Souček. And even if it is just one half, the main thing is start the game well, get the crowd going, get the buzz going. But David Moore, you don't know. Let's see what happens. He should be fairly match fit to play half a game, shouldn't he, Frankie, at least? I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so, mate. To be honest, I don't remember it. My one concern that I had was I didn't really remember him from the 2 Europa League games. Like, he didn't stand out for me. He's not something that I sort of come away from there thinking, wow, weren't he some player? So I had to watch the home leg back earlier on, and I watched the game back. Mate, he's so good.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Yeah.
I can't believe how strong he is, how aggressive he is, how good he is coming deep. I had this a bit like sort of in my head, you think Brazilian, Neymar-esque, lightweight, fancy Dan, get pushed off the ball. Nothing like that. There was one moment where I can't remember who I'll tell you what, it was Bowen. There was one moment just before their goal, and the ball comes out to the left-hand side when, tell a lie, it wasn't their goal. It was when Dembele got put through and Cresswell ended up getting sent off. If you just watch that one clip of that goal, he wins the ball back off of Bowen right deep in their half.
Yeah. And
my God, is he strong to keep Bowen off the ball. Bowen's not, he's got that bit of aggression, that bit of bite about him, Bowen.
Yeah.
He really went for the ball, and Paqueta went sort of gets hold of the ball, plays it into Aouar, and then Aouar pinged the ball over for Dembele, and then obviously Cresswell got sent off. But I was massively impressed with him, mate. And in a game like the Tottenham game, you need that bit of something, that bit of oomph, that bit of somebody who's got. And unfortunately, as much as I'm not being as critical, and I've been defending him a little bit with the agenda with Thomas Souček at the moment, I would much rather see that bit of aggression, that bit of bite, that bit of I can also play a ball forward and get the team moving up the pitch and, have a bit of creativity in there as well. There's a big question mark over whether Souček should be starting in that game tomorrow. I have a feeling he will, and I don't see Moyes being brave enough to start Paqueta, unfortunately, but I would really like to see it. So, mate, again, it adds that, what you said, Jace. Do you remember you, like, beginning of the transfer window when we weren't making no signings, you was going, you know, when it's a transfer window, you should be getting excited and new players are coming in. It makes you want to get over there and see them. You know, I can't wait for that team sheet to come out tomorrow night to see what Moyes has done, how is he playing it, who's he picked. This is exactly what we needed. So yeah, let's see if he's got the balls, old Moisey.
Tommy, do you want to see Fornells and Lanzini in the team, Tommy? Starting team?
No.
No.
No, I don't. Certainly not Lanzini. I agree with Frankie. I would play Paqueta actually beside Rice. I just think he can get on more ball in that position. I don't want him up and in and around the edge of the penalty area, waiting for his teammates to get the ball into him that far down the pitch, because you'll probably see limited possession that way. Tottenham probably will have more of the possession. I'd like to see him deeper in beside Rice, where he can actually take passes from our keeper, from our defenders, get turned and go and really affect the play.
Good point. Yeah,
in the middle of the field. He'll get on plenty of ball back there, and that's when he can really orchestrate things and make things happen. So I'd love to see him in there instead of Souček. I'd be much more attacking probably than Moyes is going to be. Moyes will start Fornells against Tottenham tomorrow. But that front four for me, you know, I'd have Bowen on the right, I'd have Benny in the number 10 role, and I'd actually put Cornet out left, and I'd have Scamacca up top. I'd really get after Tottenham. I watched their game the other day. I mean, they can be got at the back, you know. I think, and like Paqueta, look, let's not forget, it's important to understand about Paqueta. As much skill as he has, as much as he's a ball player, he's a playmaker, as Frankie just alluded to, he's actually tough. He's tough. He will put a foot in. He will track back. He will tackle. He'll get involved in everything. I think he really likes being in the thick of the action and getting involved in everything. So you know, he's not shy. You know, he's not a prima donna, you know, who just likes to do all the nice flary stuff and isn't interested in the hard work. He'll put the yards in. So I think there's no problem whatsoever putting him in beside Rice. I think that'll be nice and solid defensively, and then let the front four up top just do their thing. I don't think there would be necessarily a need for Fornells as well dropping in. I'd love Moyes to be that brave, but I don't think he will be. I don't think he will start Paqueta. I think he will start Souček beside Rice, and I think he will start Fornells.
Yeah, before I go over to Frankie, so apparently Peter thinks Liverpool were the team that was sniffing around for Paqueta.
Possibly, because they've actually gone in for Ruben Neves. They've got a deal in place now with Wolves for Ruben Neves.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I like Neves. I like Neves.
Yeah, he's a player.
Frankie, who would your front four be, mate, tomorrow?
I probably wouldn't have gone with that before your man just said it. I think it's kind of spot on. That would excite me. It would certainly make me feel like we can, you know, to just really get at them, and their defence is probably the weakest part of their team. I think if you want to play a five at the back, the way we did against Aston Villa, invite them onto us and try and counter-attack, it's game over before the game starts. So bad move. I think we have to get at them. I think the crowd will be buzzing. There'll be a new lease of life over there tomorrow night. Keep that momentum, keep that going, get at them, hopefully try and get another goal and kick on from there. And I think we can do a job on them tomorrow night. But all I just don't want to see is that five at the back, Antonio up top on his own, Bowen on the right, and then Fornells sort of somewhere drifting on the left with Benny, and then we sort of sit really deep, and all of a sudden that atmosphere we get from kickoff starts to fade after 20 minutes, and then everyone starts getting a bit jittery. Tottenham are all over us, attacking us, getting closer and closer, and then all of a sudden the game just passes us by and we get beat. So I just don't want to see that, mate. I just would love to see us go with a bit of intent.
Yeah, completely agree. But I think it will be a while before we see that wing-back system again. I mean, that first half was so bad at Villa Park. I mean, it was horrific. And And then Moyes obviously switched to 4-2-3-1 for the second half and made a sub. So I think even David Moyes probably thought, fucking hell, won't be using that for a while. But again, I think I expect to be slightly disappointed with the lineup tomorrow because, Moyes does tend to err on the side of caution. I think it'll be Rice and Souček. Fornells will start. Antonio will go.
Oh, no.
It will.
Yeah. What about this comparison with Kaka? I remember Kaka runs with the ball quite well and used to hold people off, didn't he?
This is very different to me.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very similar at all, personally. But it's a nice, nice sort of comparison to make because he was a very good. He's a legend.
And also, Paqueta has a lot to do in his career to be spoken about in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Who kept Mascherano on the bench? Was it Mullins?
Yeah, good old Hayden Mullins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the training session. I mean, listen, I'm sure he can start and pull him off at halftime if you want, Well, usual suspect thinks Barkley could be, Christmas pie. I don't know. Can Paqueta play? I'm not too sure, mate. We never know. We'd love David Moyes to be a bit different. Arthur, you naughty boy. Spurs 4-2. Naughty.
Getting the C.
Antonio, he's enjoying his rest at the moment. I think leave him on the bench for a couple of games. Lanzini, don't think he's quite got the engine anymore.
No, he does like scoring against them, though, doesn't he? He
does love a goal against Spurs. So Antonio tends to play really well against them for some reason as well.
Yep, he certainly does. Benny just needs to be a bit more stronger, doesn't he? Just gets pushed over sometimes still. I see he's got to build himself up a bit more, I think. But again, listen, I thought Benny and Souček were going to leave, but looks like they're not, so that's kind of fine. Our bench is going to be really, really strong.
I'll tell you, I was tweeting the other day that the way Moyes is actually starting to talk about Benny now, I think Benny's won him over, I know when he first came in, I think Moyes didn't really fancy him. He used him sparingly. I'm thinking now he's actually won Moyes over, that, Benny. I think he likes Benny now, and I think Benny's going to see a lot more game time.
Let's wait and see with David. Let's wait and see. Yeah, not too sure. Lee, how you doing, mate? Yeah, this is the game we always want to win. And yeah, I've seen a good few wins. The last game Upton Park 1-0, Antonio goal in the rain. I was there. That amazing atmosphere that was, mate. So hopefully, we begin to pile on more points. Yeah, we need to beat Spurs. Harry saying that's the thing, isn't it? The form of Antonio since last Christmas. Tommy's been, really bad, isn't it, mate? Really, really bad. One goal, is it, since Christmas? Something like that?
Yeah, it's very difficult to explain. I mean, he started last season just on fire. He scoring left, right, and centre. We thought, okay, maybe he's maybe finally learned the role, and he's starting to flourish as a number 9, and he's got accustomed to it. He looked great. First few games of last season, we thought, we'll have some of this. He looked like he was going to go on and score 16-odd goals, all season. And but I don't know what's happened. He just fell off a cliff. I think it's a confidence thing with him. I saw a lot of games last season where he'd get into really good positions and then he'd fluff his lines and, it'd be a really bad effort. And then you'd see him kind of the frustration. He'd be really mad at himself. He'd be punching the ground and throwing kicks in the air and just like couldn't believe it. And I think it's in his head at the moment. I think whenever he's in near goal, he just doesn't believe he's going to score. And what people, it's like being up front. It's pure confidence.
I think he didn't want to play up front, Tom. He didn't want to play up front, and he kind of said it as well that he needed help, and he's just not interested.
He was almost crying in January, begging the club to sign a striker, wasn't he?
Yeah, I would not play him up front. I wouldn't play Bowen up front, and then that's why I think we need one more up there who can play there. Son, I've just heard he wants to be the number 1 ahead of Kane up front. He doesn't like this winger position, whatever. I don't know what's going on with him, but that's what I've heard, mate. But yeah, he's a good player, and we'll probably get told off for every game Son plays. Every team, all the fans get told off for saying something to him. I don't know what goes on, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but it just follows him everywhere. Yeah, mate, Lanzini, people like that shouldn't really be regulars. some players could leave. Certainly leaving it late, mate. Don't want too many to leave, you know. We don't need too many people to leave. And I mean, Dawson's injured anyway. How's he going to pass a medical then anyway? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. That
hasn't even played, has he? Really? Son going Liverpool. Always said that, but I think, you know, sometimes the timing's gone or the bus has gone, and yeah. Well, Villa was a must-win game, wasn't it, everyone? Villa was a must-win game, kind of, and we've kind of got the win. Tommy, again, quickly watching the Villa game, what kind of things did you think, mate, that we kind of just got over the line in that one? Or, well, Villa were really poor, weren't they, Tommy, if you remember? Yeah, Villa weren't all that, were they, really?
Yeah, we were lucky Villa are not very good. We really were. The first half is the worst I've seen us play in quite some time. And, you know, given that we haven't been in good form for a while, that's saying something. That was a horrible game. That first half was just absolutely dreadful. It's the formation I think didn't help us. And the players didn't look comfortable in that formation. We were getting everyone behind the ball, sitting back, inviting Villa onto us. Now, we were able to defend comfortably enough. You know, Lucas Fabianski didn't have a whole lot to do, didn't come under any real pressure. Villa weren't able to get many shots off. So defensively, we were okay. It's just that when we did win the ball back, we were so deep and we had so many people in a crowded area that Villa were able to close us down immediately and get numbers around us. And we had no out ball to play. And so all we're doing really is just hoofing the ball down the line or hoofing it over the top. And the ball then is just coming straight back. And so we just couldn't get out of our own half for a lot of it. We were under so much pressure that, you know, we were misplacing passes. I mean, even Declan Rice, you know, an absolutely world-class player, just a brilliant footballer. Even he was misplacing passes. He looked a bit all over the place. It was just a complete mess. And it was just, you have to say, Moyes got it completely wrong on the day with the formations of. So thankfully, as I say, Villa weren't good enough to do anything about it, and we were defensively solid because we had everyone behind the ball. But, you know, against a better team, you know, we could have been banging trouble in that one.
Yeah, because he stuck 5 across the back, then another 4 defensive players, and yeah, luckily Benny came on half time, got that little bit of spark, and that a fortunate goal, wasn't it, mate?
Now you can see immediately, like, the players are much more comfortable in the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
You know, they all knew exactly what they were doing. It was better balanced. And then we kind of grew into the game. And particularly after we scored, I thought after we scored, it looked like a weight was lifted off the players. And they puffed their chests out a little bit. And we just got better and better as the game went on. And we looked much more like ourselves. Declan Rice started doing his thing, you know, as well. So we improved as the second half went on. And deserved, I think, just about the 1-0 in the end. But Bowen is still a worry. You know, I really hope he starts.
Yeah, Bowen's completely off it.
We could really use Bowen having a big day tomorrow. You know, he's very, very important to us, despite all the new signings we've made. You know, Bowen was amazing last season. I mean, Bowen carried the team at times. You know, up front. No, anything good that was happening up there was coming through Bowen. So it's a little bit of a worry. Not too much because we're still early in the season. You know, maybe just a little drop off. He could hit form again very quickly and be back to his old self. Let's hope tomorrow. But it's something I'm keeping an eye on because, you know, he's a player that we really need to be on his game.
Yeah, we'll see. Frankie, Scott Parker got the sack, mate. Any comments on that, mate? Some people think it's harsh, looking at the fixtures and things like that.
Yeah, I think the problem with the game that we sort of involved in now, you can't be as outspoken as he was trying to be. You can't knock the owners of football clubs, and you can't say things like, you know, you're not prepared and stuff like that, because there's too much riding on this sport, mate. There's too much money involved. You have to be a yes man, unfortunately, and that's why there's not as many characters around anymore. It's why there's not as many, you know, people like we used to see back in the day. It's a shame because it means everything's watered down. And I like Scott Parker. I always liked him for West Ham. I think he carries himself well. Yeah, all right. He always has a dodgy jumper and whatever else, and you can say what you like about him. But at the end of the day, you know, I think it was well too early for me. A terrible result. No football team should have a result like that. I don't think there's any excuses to get beat like that. That was ridiculous. But Yeah, he hasn't been given a lot, has he? Let's be honest. What's he been given in the window to try and keep him up in the Premier League? Nothing. So, yeah, I feel sorry for him, mate. I do feel sorry for him. It just seems like management is not working out for him, is it? Everywhere he goes, he ends up in scenarios like this. So yeah, a little bit of a shame, mate.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Tommy? Any sort of sorry words for Scott Parker, mate, or not?
Yeah, I kind of understand what's going on there. It wasn't really about the results. I don't think the board would have sacked him purely on results. I think Frankie basically summed it up really. Scott Parker outed the board. He was very critical of them. Bemoaning his lack of supposed backing in the transfer market. Board didn't like that. They came out with a statement saying, look, we all need to be on the same page here. We have a certain way that we run our club, and we don't diverge from that. So they didn't take kindly to to the criticism. And you know what it's like, chairmen can be quite thin-skinned when it comes to stuff like that, getting criticized by their own managers. The strange thing for me is how there was this disconnect. Because, Scott Parker's taken on the job. I'm sure he must have known coming into this summer that transfer funds are going to be very limited. He's going to have to work largely with what he had in the Championship. And, that there wasn't going to be too many new signings, certainly no high-quality ones. He must have been aware of that. So why all of a sudden he decided to throw his dummy out the pram about it, I'm not sure. Maybe just frustration. Maybe he felt he was flogging a dead horse at Bournemouth, which, to be fair, he probably was. I think they're absolute shoo-ins to be relegated, and I suppose no manager wants to feel like he's banging his head against a brick wall and has no chance to do something. So probably just frustration on his part, but it was ill-advised. It never ends well when that happens. You do tend to get the boot from the chairman. So once I found out the whole story, I wasn't actually that surprised.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The problem with Bournemouth, though, is, similar to Norwich's situation, they don't try and act like big clubs, do they? They sort of flirt with the Premier League. They go up and down. They never really massively invest. They never improve the stadiums. They never try and get more fans in there. It's no good. If you go up to the Premier League, you want to stay there, you've got to buy. Forest have had a proper go, and it shows it's possible. Forest have spent near enough what we've spent in this window. So if you've got people there and you've got the people who own the club who want to spend the money, then you can do. Yeah, it's a dangerous game to play, because if you bring in big wage players and big money, and then you get relegated straight away again, it's tough. But you've got to have a go. I'd get really frustrated if I was a fan of one of those type of clubs, and you're just up and down like that and never really see any ambition to want to stay in the Premier League. Really, it's almost like they're happy to do what they do and go up, get promoted, go back down again. We'll have another crack at it, go back up in a few years' time.
Take the parachute payments.
Yeah, that's it. Take the parachute payments, and that does them. That to me is a sad state of a football club.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky balance, because you can go the other way too. I remember when Fulham came up, I think not the last time, the time before, they spent about 100 million, which is a lot of money for Fulham. They brought in a number of players, still got relegated. Having spent all that money, it didn't do anything for them. And then the next time they came up, they decided to be much more coy about it, and they didn't spend nearly as much, still got relegated. Yeah. So it's a difficult balance to say. I think it'll be interesting to see how Forest fare. They've tried a slightly different approach. They've gone for quantity, but and they've spent money. Don't get me wrong; they've spent a nice amount of money, but they haven't kind of spent massively on any one player. So they've got a lot of players for their buck, and they're all players. I think they've kind of covered themselves. So I think there's a couple of players, like Lingard, for example, who's on big money, but he's only on that 1-year deal. So if the worst case scenario happens, they get relegated, they just ditch him. He's gone out of the club. They get rid of those big wages, which they can't afford in the Championship. But I think the rest, almost all the players they've got, the wages aren't big. They wouldn't actually lose very many players in the Championship. They could kind of keep whatever players they really want to keep for that squad for the Championship, and they can maybe sell on the excess players, as it were. They won't need a squad that big in the Championship. So I think they're trying a sensible approach, Forest. Like, if they get relegated, they're not going to be in financial ruin over it, you know. They're players that can actually play in the Championship for the next season. They aren't on big money, most of them. They're not big money signings. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare. It's an awful lot of players, though. You know, it's a massive overhaul of a squad. I mean, I think they're up to 19 now, and they might make it 20 before the window closes tomorrow. I mean, I've never seen an overhaul of a club like that in one summer. I really haven't. It's incredible what they've done. So whether that'll work for them or not remains to be seen. Moyes would probably have nightmares every night trying to figure out how do I gel all these bloody players into a team that has cohesion. So it'll be interesting to see if the Forest approach works or not.
Yeah, I think going back to Bournemouth, they spent just £26 million on 2 players. The rest are all, 4 free transfers, including Ryan Fredericks. It's kind of next to nothing. In the chat, Mr. Mace, welcome. How are you doing, mate? Mr. Mace always throwing in his bit of comedy, bit of one-liners that are quite legendary.
He ain't wrong, though, is he? He ain't wrong.
CNA, God, my mum used to love CNA. Bloody hell, I remember that brand. They're still going abroad when you go to Spain on holiday. They're there, aren't they, mate?
They're there, mate. They're there.
We are, sorry, across the hammer. We are massive. Hope you're doing well, mate. Sporting Clips, how you doing? Daniela, Wonder. Yeah, a little bit of that one, a little bit of that. You're going to be dropping the kids off to school now, Scotty Parker. Yeah, hope you're doing. Hope you're well, Happy Hammerhead. Might see you tomorrow. I know you like the West Ham Spurs game. Didn't some fans say Moy should change? Yeah, he did give a hint that he wanted more expansive players, a more skillful team than he, rather than what we've been seeing the last couple of years. So let's see how he uses Mr. Paqueta. No one likes his cardigans.
No, that was. I saw a photograph of that cardigan today, and honestly, it looked like something from like the casual section of the SS catalogue.
Actually, Spurs, I think they hate playing us more than the other way around. I think we've done all right against them recently, last 5, 6, 7 games. And going back,
whenever we play Tottenham, it doesn't matter about our form or their form. I always feel like we can do them.
We are.
I used to. This Conte effect, I'm not so sure. No, I mean, when you watch that All or Nothing and you saw how weak their previous managers were with understanding what a derby was all about, and Harry Kane tried to motivate the team by just saying a load of swear words and just didn't really get a reaction. It was terrible. They didn't get what a derby meant. Conte won't let them come out and not be up for it tomorrow. So it's going to be a very different type of West Ham Tottenham game, I feel, tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting. I do think they'll be more fired up than they have been in recent times.
Yeah, but also on the other side of that coin, we haven't performed really yet this season. You know, we haven't had like a really, really good performance, and I think the hope for me is that this is the kind of game now that can get that out of the players. That for the first time this season, that we will actually see the players really at it and putting in a really top performance and putting Tottenham to the sword and beating them. And that's the hope for me, is that the real West Ham kind of turns up tomorrow and all our players like put in really great performances and just beat this lot. And that's what I'm really hoping we'll see. Maybe this is the kind of game we need, actually.
I think ex-employees mentioning that West Ham are looking to let go of Jamal Baptiste, the young defender, tomorrow. Ideally,
he was the other one we was tipping as being the next big thing.
Yeah, ideally on a permanent they want. So that's kind of what we're hearing at the moment. Ruben, that's what I was saying, mate, that the league is very, very tough this year. Everyone's got money. Everyone's got loads of good players. Mitrovic, my personal favourite for many years. He's on fire at the moment. Yeah.
He's the kind of player that it could just as quickly just dry up for him. So.
Yeah, happy. I did say Bournemouth. Yeah.
Sustain it, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I like the way he backs himself, doesn't he? Even for Serbia and Fulham. Yeah, penalty taker and yeah, got that bit of physicalness about him as well, isn't it? Bloody, you guys are on about the cardigan, mate. Come on. Got to get it all signed from him. What was the last time you came to watch a game in the UK, Tommy? How long's it been?
It's been ages, mate. Ages. Yeah. I keep every freaking season. I keep saying, "Yeah, we're to get over yet," and then it just doesn't happen for various reasons. But I'm absolutely determined. I'm going to get over this season 100%.
Good. Let me know. Yeah, let me know. I'll help you get tickets, and we'll have a good time, mate. We've been going for nearly an hour. So what we've mentioned briefly in summary is that it's been a good window. And if nothing happens tomorrow, I think we'll kind of be okay. But yeah, we haven't explored the loan market. Yeah, we're looking at, if it's a right back, a CDM, perhaps a striker, that kind of thing, really. Spurs tomorrow, I think the team should really be motivated for that anyway. And if Moyes can pick the right attacking team at the beginning 62, 63,000 fans in, evening game. And again, evening means bit more time to have a few drinks, get a bit jolly, and then hopefully I'll probably try to get in the ground early in it tomorrow, Frankie. I don't want that queue that Man City I saw, mate. Oh my god, getting there a bit early. So summary from you, Frankie, in terms of what's going to happen tomorrow in the market, and if nothing happens, are you okay, mate? Let's just go. The door's closed, and a little bit your prediction for tomorrow, mate, as well, Frankie, and then same question to Tommy after. Yeah.
I will take no more action in the market tomorrow, although I've always stood by that Diaz will be coming in, so I won't be surprised when he gets announced. I do expect one or two to leave. I think there'll be some players who do go out the door, which is fine. Tomorrow for me is all about the result, mate. I won't even be thinking remotely about the transfer window tomorrow. I think we've got enough. I think we're okay how we are now. If someone like Fofana come in, well, that would just blow me away. But tomorrow, mate, for me,
what's the money on that guy? Do you know how much he would cost?
It will be 20 plus when it between 20 and 30, I would imagine. I haven't seen, but that's just a guess off the top of my head. So it won't be cheap.
Same for you, Tommy. What are you expecting tomorrow? What do you want? Are you okay if not many people get over the line tomorrow? And your prediction for tomorrow's game, mate?
I don't think we'll much of anything happening tomorrow. I don't think we'll see Van Aken. It doesn't appear like there's anything even remotely close happening there. Like I say, we might see a little movement out. Elise might go.
Dawson maybe. I don't know. See what happens with that.
Yeah, even Dawson, I doubt we'd be willing to let him go on deadline day unless we've already got something lined up as a replacement. So the one possible thing we might see is that Dawson will go to Wolves, and that we'll just get someone in either on loan or another kind of cheap kind of centre back like the Dawson deal was for us from Watford. But other than that, I don't think we'll see much of anything happening transfer wise, and that's fine. Like I say, for once, there's no pressure on deadline day for us. We can all relax.
Your prediction for tomorrow, Tommy? What do you think?
I think we're going to beat them. I really do. I know they're going really well. They've had a good start to the season, but I just feel like the atmosphere is going to be amazing at the stadium, and I think the players are really I just have a suspicion we're going to see our first really, really good West Ham performance of the season tomorrow. I just always feel like this is the kind of game that's going to kind of get the players ready and get them up and have them absolutely buzzing. Big derby against Tottenham at home, great atmosphere. I'd love to see a surprise like Paqueta starting, something like that. Just get the buzz really going around the crowd. But I just have a suspicion that tomorrow we're going to put a performance in and actually give Spurs a loss.
Yeah, why not? We won our last game, didn't we? Yeah, why not? I thought the window shuts tomorrow night. Mr. Mace thinks it's the first. Not sure, mate. Some people ask for rumours. Rumours are what are they? Broja, Gallagher, Vanaken, Barkley, one or two others. So you never know. You never know, mate. James is in. For me, the prediction tomorrow. 2-2, I think. Yeah, I'll probably go 2-2 and say, and I'll be happy with that. So that will mean, was it Chelsea, Newcastle after that and 4 points on the board? yeah, I'll be happy with that. But yeah, I want to thank everyone. Hang on, 8. Oh, James is confirming. Oh, the window shuts Thursday. Oh, I thought it shut tomorrow, Tommy. It's on the 1st. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was shut in September, so I thought tomorrow evening as well. But look, if it's Thursday, it's fine. I don't think it changes much. I think we'll see very little movement. Maybe Dawson out and one of their centre backs. That's probably about it.
Well, okay, so everyone is confirming it's Thursday. That means transfer deadline day isn't tomorrow; it's on Thursday. So yeah, I'll probably do a show for much of the day if I can. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, Tommy, for making your debut, mate, and being flexible in your terms. And we finally agreed your package, sir. Don't tell Frankie what you on is going to cause dressing room upheaval. So
just glad I didn't score any own goals. I'll take that. For my
you're on more than Matt, mate. We're trying to chip in from Matt's earphones, aren't we, mate? I mean, dreadful audio issues, Matt, every time. So yeah, we're going to help him out. But yeah, thanks again, and yeah, we're going to have many more shows sort of in the season ahead, really. So yeah, let's wish West Ham the best of luck tomorrow. And Frankie, hopefully see you finally in it, mate. Hopefully have time to link up with you, and we'll have a good laugh, mate. We'll have a good laugh, bit of rum, bit of lamb chops, or whatever we got planned, isn't it? Yeah. And you take care of yourself, Tommy, and yeah, we'll catch up in the next couple of days, mate. But welcome and thank you for your input.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on the channel, guys. Looking forward to having lots more chats with you. And yeah, hopefully we'll all be talking soon about a great win against Spurs.
Let's hope so.
Oh, mate, if that happens, yeah, the show's going to be buzzing, mate, proper buzzing. But yeah, have a great evening, gentlemen, and thanks for your help. Take care.
See you later, mate.
See you later. Bye.